Hi everyone, this is Marianne here from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are you all? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. We've got a lot to get through today. We're going to start with Fox and the Dominion and Smartmatic defamation suits. What's likely to occur there? I have read on this before. I did see Fox perhaps having to pay out a lot of money. But we'll also look at the future of Fox, because if that's the case, and we'll look at that again, we'll do an update, what happens to them? I recall reading a long time ago where I felt that Fox might be broken up into separate business type entities, which of course would water down its power to influence or influence with misinformation. Also want to look at the Havana Syndrome. The intelligence agencies in the US have released a report. It seems to run contrary to an independent panel of assessment earlier on. Seems to be two different conclusions. The latest conclusion from the CIA et al. Is that it is not some sound wave generated technology by Russia or another nefarious actor, but they also don't explain what it is affecting their agents families, staff, even some children of Congress members. There's no explanation as to what it is, and as I said, it runs contrary to the independent panel. Their assessment was that there was something in this. So Havana Syndrome, is this what is it? Is it real, or is this some sort of dampening down? I'm not going to say cover up, but trying to squash some kind of evidence or some kind of theory, credible theory, for whatever reason that we don't know about. I know that can be a little bit tricky there, but I'm just going to pull cards on it. I also want to look at Perry. He withheld a couple of thousand emails from the January 6th committee. It's currently before a court of appeals. There's something in those emails he doesn't want people to see. Pence, similarly, is resisting a subpoena from the special counsel. So we'll look at all those questions and see where we come out. Also, I want to mention Saturn into Pisces in relation to Fox and other. There is a social media around do social questions before the Supreme Court. Do social media companies have the ability to feed us an algorithm and effectively take away our choice about what we're seeing? And therefore, if that's the case, what happens to the vulnerable? Do they get sucked in down a vortex of some kind, which ultimately leads to negativity for them or downfall for them? I'm mentioning these cases because Saturn into Pisces is going to be very interesting. Saturn brings boundaries and limitations to us. Pisces, on the other hand, is boundless. It is nebulous. It can often be escapism. So when Saturn imposes boundaries, what's likely to occur? We're going to be noticing the shifts that are going on in March. It's going to be a huge month, whether that is for the invasion of Ukraine, something may change there, or whether it's possible indictments coming down on the former President Trump. It's just going to be a huge month because we have Saturn in Pisces. We also have Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius to set the scene for 2024. It's all but 3 planets moving signs in March. So that gives you some indication of the gravity of this. I'll do a separate reading on that and we'll look at what some of those predictions might be for this huge shift in March. But for now, it seems that we've got situations where there have been no limits, such as Fox and the Big Lie. And Rupert Murdoch, the founder of Fox, the owner of Sky, and the tabloids, many of the tabloids in Fleet Street in the UK, Sky News in Australia, London. I'm sure there's a Canada version as well. It's like there's been no limits. Are we going to see these defamation suits imposing some kind of civil boundary through big, huge payouts that could really cost this company and really change its business model as well? That's the question I want to start with, because I know my viewers in Australia, all around the world, UK, that are concerned about the spread of misinformation, sensationalism. I was around when Murdoch was coming, in Australia anyway, coming into prominence, and very much he invented the tabloid mentality, which thrived on sensationalism. And then that now has morphed into something that doesn't have any boundaries when you have anchors and on-air personalities that know the big lie in the 2020 election pushed by Trump was just that, but they went along with it anyway. That evidence has now come out before the court. Strike one. Dominion has already proven they knew they were lying. Okay, strike one. The second, or not the second, but among other things that Dominion will have to prove is malice, and that's where it gets pretty tricky. It seems like American defamation law, the bar is set too high. If somebody lies about you, causes your business to close through a big lie or downturn in business and your reputation to suffer, seems like that's enough. In Australia, that is enough. If you are caught lying, that's enough. But this question of malice, well, one could argue the court might define malice. Orb, very quick moving orb, could define malice as if you lie, you have a malicious intent. The malicious intent was to cast credibility doubts upon Dominion. So it'll be interesting how Dominion addresses that. Because of the breadth and the shamelessness of the lie, I think they've got a chance of getting somewhere proving malice, or what is the definition of malice. So let's have a look at whether or not Dominion's going to be successful, because if they're successful, Smartmatic, who has a similar case, would also be successful. And remembering Saturn can often be, it's called the greater malefic, meaning that, some view it as bad, and therefore bringing bad luck. I don't see Saturn that way. I see it as discipline, responsibility, boundaries, can also be limitations as well. Sometimes we need limits. All right, let's see. Fox, are you going to lose this? Okay. Why we've got a ballerina. Who knows? Ballerina turns up. What is that supposed to mean? Spirit, the dance, perhaps. Enthralled by the dance. All right, let's see where that takes us. All right, so let's go. Let's word the question differently. Will Dominion prove defamation? Will Dominion be able to prove that Fox defamed them? I'm using my Llewellyn Tarot, classic tarot deck. Will Dominion be able to prove Fox defamed them? I'm sure it won't be that clear cut, but we've got an abuse of power. I think the judge is going to tend to throw the book at Fox. I really do. They are abused their power, and where does malice sit in this? It's certainly not benign, is it? And we have the Ten of Cups to its viewers. Who did it influence? Voters. Not voters, but families, and I guess the electorate. I'm also seeing courts tending to want to bring these limitations into social media because of the impact that they're having on those that may be vulnerable. Now, as I said, there is a case before the Supreme Court. That's not what this reading's about. Supreme Court have said that there's possibly an issue around the algorithm, but it's really up to Congress to look at Section 230 of the Communications Act, of the US Communications Act. Now, Four of Wands talks about again, this family kind of, the viewers, what were the viewers? How would they likely to have been influenced by this? And of course, there's that idea that Dominion could have been shunned and avoided, and its business reputation impacted through the big lie. I think it's everyday people that don't have a chance to find an alternative, not an alternative, but don't have a chance to hear the facts. So for the Fox viewers, perhaps there might be something come out in the court case. Fox viewers alone that don't consume any other media would have been caught in this web of lies that they knowingly perpetuated and thus influenced to perhaps have malice against Dominion. So I think already there could be tricks and turns here. We've got justice in the past and balancing the scales. That's a karmic card. I think that's why I tend to think that it's that really we're all going to have our day in court when it comes to Murdoch. And we've got wish fulfillment. This is when we all wish something. We know what we're wishing. We want to balance those scales. We want boundaries and limits on media that deliberately perpetuate misinformation and lying. Now we've got greed and corruption, the devil card here. I mean, these are interesting cards in relation to Fox. Motivated by money, motivated by viewerships. Now we've got something coming to fruition in time, the Two of Wands. I'm not sure that we're going to hear something. Well, we were all patient. We've all been patient. And here we have the big lie. So, wow. Okay, so the environment around is lie, the big lie, lying. And then we have the Two of Wands, being patient, something coming to fruition in time. Justice coming to fruition in time. Now, in the hopes and fears, we have the court themselves, the judge that is going to, or judges. Remember, this is, they can appeal, can't they? Can they appeal a civil suit in America? Or is it just actually it could be just the judges. This is not criminal, this is civil. Someone will tell us in the comments. But I see the judge going out on a limb here. Now we have loss here. Loss, walking away. I asked, would Dominion prove? And we have the Four of Pentacles, in withholding information. And then we have a new start. So I'm getting conflicting messages here. Insights, gossip, knowingly encouraging gossip. We have here the Hanged Man, pausing and suspending. And yet we have the Ace of Swords, the truth. So is this Dominion going to face the loss? Or is it going to be Fox? This can be holding on to some sort of evidence here. Is Fox News holding? This is for entertainment purposes only. What is the next card when we get King of Pentacles? Okay, so conversations with the former president, of course, comes into here because it was his big lie. Are they withholding something? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, these cards are hard to shuffle, so we'll put them in and shuffle like this. Well, I get a major arcana. Information. I think they're unsuccessful. And yeah, okay. So what I see is Dominion's not successful across the board, but it's successful on one not one thing, but one theme or focus. And there will be a payout, but I'm not sure it's successful across the board. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But let's see. Let's clarify this loss here, the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. So again, we get the families, clarifying that. Okay, we get a surprise turn in this case, and we get the Queen of Swords, logic and the law, applying the law. Okay, I think I know what's going to happen here in the moon. There's definitely evidence that's not maybe from Trump himself, you know. Would Dominion call Trump? I don't know, but there's maybe communications, further communications that might have helped this case that may not be coming forward. Show me, will Dominion be successful in any way? Whoa, we get the big lie again. Wow. Will Dominion be successful in any way? Now, there is something that flipped over here. Oh, we'll pick it up. Will Dominion be successful in any way? Okay, 2 flipped over. So we get here payouts, debts, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so I'm thinking there is one count if a civil suit can go like that. There's a way that the judge... Oh, there's one card remaining. There, that's what was flipping over. Yeah, the judge is going to go out on a limb. Dominion will be successful in part, but not entirely successful. That's where I come out. Now, how is this going to affect Fox going forward or Murdoch going forward? It would be nice, wouldn't it, to think that this changes in any way, changes their business model, which is... I'm just going to say knowingly promoting a big lie. That evidence is already out there. Okay, so how does this affect? Knight of Pentacles is upturned there. How does this affect? What impact will this have on Murdoch media? What impact will the Dominion's decision have on Murdoch media? Well, we've got the moon here. This is emotion, instinct, but also tempering the instincts and the emotions. We've got abuse of power. Again, we've got the viewers, the rather malleable viewers of Fox, and we get the big lie in the past. Interesting cards. Now we get the Magician, manifestation of something. The question is what? The Empress, abundance. This is interesting. The Knight of Wands, movement forward. I know where this might be going. Moderation. It is already causing them to moderate where they will challenge anything that's such a blatant lie. We have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups. You know, I think that when the Democrats get back in to the House and they hold enough power again, I think Section 230 is going to be reformed. So we get loss and regret. Loss and regret. They're going to lose money. Okay, so they're going to lose money in the Dominion. I think I've seen that a couple of times. They're going to lose money in the Dominion case. There is a payout. I don't know if it goes all Dominion's way. However, this is going to affect what they do in the future. The Queen of Cups, she holds something. She's got a lid on it. And they've got a huge decision to make about their future. And we get the Page of Pentacles. So I think they're going to change. Also, governments, when this case is not just about Dominion, it's about governments looking on and seeing Fox promoting these big lies. So I think that their media model has to evolve, has to undergo some kind of morphing into something else, because it's just not sustainable, and that's what that Knight of Pentacles showed. There will be limits put on Fox. All right, so let's see. Where will we go now? Perry, that arch villain. Okay, so Perry, Scott, the Rep Perry, over 2,000 emails he's withheld. Will the Court of Appeals, I'm assuming it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court, will they allow Perry's... Interesting. They have to do so. They have to allow it in some way. Okay, so will they allow... Because otherwise the courts are covering up a crime. Okay, so interesting. I saw the Ace of Swords. Will the Court of Appeals allow Of course, and then it'll go to the Supreme Court. In the US, will the Court of Appeals allow Scott Perry's email, the DOJ, special counsel, to have Scott Perry's emails? They're trying to, in some way, pass the buck. Now, we've got the Eight of Swords, restriction, they won't get all. Although we've got strength here, they won't get all those emails. Two of Wands suggests be patient, something coming to fruition in time. I'm tending to think Trump, those communications with the former president that had nothing to do with congressional, they are going. It's like, and they'll say someone independent has to go through them, or a court-appointed judge has to go through those emails and sort out what was congressional record, debate, related to congressional business, and what was not. I think that's where we're going to come out. We've got loss here, leaving something behind, and we've got the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, communications that involved outside parties. Outside parties like Mike Flynn, perhaps. I can't see any other way. They're going to have to let them go through. This is, of course, stalling for time, withholding. He held back evidence. Now there's a rethink. Okay, 7. There's a rethink. So, crossroads. It's a huge case, actually, because, as I said, the courts would be guilty of covering up a crime. So we get somebody's disappointed. 3 cups remaining, 1 cup given. Betrayal. As I said, betrayal. You wanted to call it treason. Well, so be it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. All right. So it looks like they're going to let some go, but not all. And we've got illusion and delusion, and the Knight of Pentacles. They need to be seen. This is Saturn in Pisces. Need to be seen to be solid. I think they're going to get some kind of the same thing that Trump tried to pull. Try and get somebody to go independent, perhaps an ex-judge or a sitting judge, to go through those emails, which Judge Beryl Howell, the presiding judge, already did. She said 161 can be kept by Perry relating to Congress. The rest have to go to the DOJ. So I think that we're going to have basically that situation coming up again. Perry might try and bring executive privilege into it. So I think and we know that did not succeed all the way to the Supreme Court. So I think the DOJ, very clever, are probably going to say those communications with Trump and those members outside of Congress that had nothing to do with congressional business, I think that's what the DOJ are going to get. That's my reading of it. And, of course, Pence. Mike Pence is resisting the subpoena. Why is that? Because he wants to stand in 2024 and he doesn't want to irritate or get Trump's base offside. Of course, Trump's base is dwindling now, as we've seen through successive surveys. I think it was the Washington Post came out with an article that MAGA is moving away, some MAGA, not all, moving away from Trump because he can't win an election. And nobody likes a loser, okay? It strips, in that kind of superficial mentality, it strips the power away, doesn't it? Pretty quickly. People like winners, not losers. All right, so, I know. All right, Pence, US Vice President, let's see, Pence, show me Mike Pence. Will he eventually testify before the special counsel, Jack Smith's grand jury? Will Pence testify for the special counsel's grand jury? I think so. No, they're pretty strong aces. Yes. Is it Beryl Howell, Judge Beryl Howell, the judge, presiding judge? He's very worried, very anxious about this, because we'll get all this evidence about his Secret Service detail and what happened there. So he's got a lot of evidence to present, and he's keeping a lot of secrets. This is why he doesn't want to take the stand. Wow, he's a key witness. In the immediate future, review, it can be the Hermit can bring forward reflection, introspection, isolation, doesn't want to be isolated. Right now, it's a smoke screen, but I think a choice is approaching. Wow, illusion and delusion around January the 6th. That's what's being pushed forward. In the hopes and fears, the Queen of Pentacles, stability, national security, and then we get judgment. It's inevitable that he will. I'm glad that's a clear-cut reading, because the Fox case showed Dominion getting money, but not a clean sweep of a win for Dominion. I think the judge is going to be very brave in that case and go out on a limb. And Perry's going to dance around this. I went with my intuition, feeling that the court will give some of those emails over. This one's very clear cut. Pence will testify. Pence will. I've got the two big karmic cards. Pence will eventually testify. And he has huge, I felt like swearing then, huge bloody evidence to give on January the 6th. Illusion, delusion, smoke screen. Again, Saturn to Pisces. Boundaries around the big lie. Now he's looking at a plan B, and he is withholding evidence, and we get the King of Swords. Smith gets what he wants. People died on January the 6th. You cannot smooth it under the carpet. Now, I want to also say Saturn in Pisces is working well in the Congress. The latest congressional rep to fall victim, latest MAGA, to fall victim to their own. What is that? What is that saying around two tongues? You speak in two tongues. They get caught out every time. Matt Gaetz has been caught out and actually quoted Chinese talking points. Also want to say, MAGA, there's a very real possibility that the MAGAs who are pushing to give nothing to the invasion of Ukraine, they are actually, there's some evidence that they're quoting Putin's talking points. So, again, watch this space. Now, I know I said Havana Syndrome. I do want to do that. Maybe just a short, quick reading. I don't want this to be too long. Havana Syndrome. Havana Syndrome. Is this I just get a feeling of cover-up. Is this a cover-up? What is this? Somebody looking over an ocean. And there's a smoke screen coming over that water. Okay, maybe it's not in the interest to have this information out. Sometimes that's the way it works. Are they trying to cover up Havana Syndrome? Are they trying to, the CIA, intelligence, because of timeliness or something around, I don't know, what is it? There's smoke over the water, I can't quite see. Ooh, don't want people to wade into that pond. Is there a cover-up with Havana Syndrome? A cover-up. Now, this, of course, has happened in Europe to American personnel. We get the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. The restricting something. Restricting that steady movement forward. Ten of Pentacles. This is really ending something. The Page of Pentacles, something to do with me. I don't know. I'm just going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that maybe there was some funding in the past to explore these technologies. There's some reason they don't want this to go forward. Now we have wish fulfillment, the Nine of Cups, getting what I wish for. We get independence. Now, again, I said it's contrary to the independent review who found there was something operating. The Moon card, something secrets coming to the surface. The the Page of Wands. This is some sort of information. This is not the end of it. It's not the end of it. Some sort of information will come out at a later date around this, and we get the Wheel of Fortune. So yes, there is a level, some kind of level. Queen of Cups, keeping the secret within the cup, the lid on the cup. Let's keep a lid on it. And we get Trump. Yeah. And we get loss. So, you know, in the current state of disinformation, we have here the Death card, endings of something, Chariot and Justice. Okay, why am I getting a draw to Trump Justice for the former president? They don't want to cloud something. I just feel we're not going to hear the end of it. It had something to do with time, and Trump is somehow involved. So I'm not going to say it's a cover-up. I'm just going to say that, well, I guess it is a cover-up. More will come out. There is definitely Havana Syndrome that I pick up. It is generated by some kind of ultrasonic type of sound. Americans were targeted, but there's some kind of national security reason that this isn't coming out. It will. More will come on this, because the media is not going to stop digging. All right, that's the reading for today. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.